Tom's taught me how to keep my hamstring intact, which is nice.
Can't take my eyes off him.
Well,
Rugby league should be absolutely applauding that he's playing rugby league.
That's what
because he
superstars
is
do.
a marketer's dream.
I just assumed because she was about 12 she could swim. So...
Oh, no.
This is also in the water.
Oh.
This is the maddest place on the planet.
Dancing.
The only show where you're allowed to do it without shoes on.
Andrew Johns, one of the greatest players of all time.
Cuddles and kisses go a long way, especially when you're in trouble.
Oh, the horse has bolted. Look at the big fellow go in.
Imagine if he wanted to fire. They're very horny and very aggressive.
Are we allowed to put that to work?
Sydney, stay classy.
I love everyone for making me feel this good.
Hello there, hope you're having a great week. Welcome to Freddy and the Eighth on the eve of a spectacular day of rugby league. On Anzac Day, very important day for the nation. Brad Fittler's played in many Anzac Day clashes. Andrew Johns has commentated many of them. Welcome, gents.
Hey, Matt.
It's going to be a great day. It's sold out at Allianz.
It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be a beautiful day, apparently. What goes on before it sets the scene up, and I think the two teams are absolutely primed.
Great commemorations for our service people, past and present. A game over in New Zealand as well, which is a nice touch. Just before we go any further, I just had a look at the form guide for Freddy and the Eighth before we came in here. It says Andrew Johns last raced as a colt, racing today as a gelding.
That's right. There he is.
How sore is your groin burst?
This is part of the recovery process, Andrew.
This has been the last couple of days.
We need to get an iceberg.
That's after his week-long ban ends.
I wish it would have happened 30 years ago. I don't have in Newcastle.
Don't say that. Your children will be watching.
Oh, yeah, they're cool.
The ultimate gear change,
It's been a humbling few days.
Yeah.
But,
You feeling okay?
well, I got the cushion down here.
He's not walking real well.
Yeah. My days of daddy producing gone. Usually have one every decade. So
You still alive, Matt? Are you still alive?
you actually asked me about it. Dr. Richards at Prince of Wales.
So 2/3 of this lounge is hopeless now.
If you're looking for a gelding procedure, Dr.
Well,
Richards
he
is the
told me
man to call.
normally you put 3 or 4 stitches and you had to put about 16.
He wishes.
in your sack.
Exactly. Just as you're getting whirled down the hallway and you're going into theatre, you just start going, whew. Whew. You had
sort
the
of miss
snip?
that
Have you had
feeling.
the snip?
Yeah.
Can I?
Did you go under for it?
Yep.
Did you?
Yeah, I went under
I
for
think
sure.
that was the last time I went
I don't
under.
think there'd be an option not to. would
No,
there?
there is. They can do it local.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Sitting there watching you.
So, at the risk of going into areas we shouldn't here, what does the procedure involve?
Well, they do something to the tubes, don't
Let's
they?
cut the tube.
Right.
Yeah.
So they have to.
Oh, well, when the little fella's swimming, comes to a dam and doesn't go any further.
Right.
Go back up.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thanks for explaining
Something like that.
that.
sort of.
Now,
Anyway.
over the weekend,
Thank you to all the doctors.
and particularly the nurses who looked after Andrew.
Oh, yes.
Over the weekend, you would have seen Tom Trbojevich make that skull gesture, and we were sort of thinking on the face of it, oh, it's a salute to the old days of the footy show. Not entirely true. A young lad by the name of Beau Hewitt from the Mona Vale Raiders has recently been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. It's such a terrible, terrible story. Of course, that's the Trbojevich boys' junior club, the Mona Vale Raiders, and Beau asked if they scored a try for a That's Gold, and that was for Beau.
Well, it doesn't surprise you with Trbojevich. Everyone in rugby league knows they're such lovely young men from a great family. When I first moved to the north side, when I moved from Newcastle, my young fella was playing at Mona Vale Raiders.
So did my young bloke.
You're both played, yeah. So they play on the Sunday morning or Saturday mornings?
Saturdays.
Saturday mornings. So anyway, Jake was playing NRL, just started, and then Tom was killing it in the under-20. You go down there for the under-6s at 8 a.m, they'd be there.
Fantastic.
They'd be in the kiosks. Sometimes they'd be running the lines, doing the linesman. and they'd be there all day.
Well, they were. So Zac was there, 6 years ago? And Jake was actually coaching the under-16s.
Isn't that
Yeah.
fantastic?
So
I
they're
remember a
still
few
coaching.
years back calling a reserve grade grand final on grand final day, and they were both
Yeah.
there on the sideline.
Were they?
Yeah.
The old man used to,
John.
so he was the president for ages down there. So, you know, you committed then to setting up, and so all the boys used to get out there and help out.
Hey, Bo, we're thinking of you, mate.
Yep.
All the very best. It's obviously very difficult for you and your family, but with support like the Trbojevich boys, hopefully you can fight it to the best of your ability. We're thinking of you. That's gold means we have to segue into some of the Chiefs' best work.
Is Jake's getting married, isn't he? Oh, here we go.
Anyway,
He's chief.
here's the Chiefo.
I know he's engaged.
Yeah. Geez, you're the
I think they all
father-in-law,
are.
you'd be happy.
Here's the little fella. Is he going to that? He wouldn't be up late enough to do that's gold. Isn't that good?
You know what?
That's that one.
That's the
used-
golden slipper.
They used to be
Oh, it's
everywhere.
the king.
Wow.
Where have they got the king doing it? That's gold. That's fantastic.
They used to be everywhere. People would do it all over the world.
Can we get the footy show back? I said to the bosses at 9, a week leading into the semis, Thursday nights, and then leading in the grand final.
need to get the
Nostalgia
fat.
going back. Get the fat one.
We can't afford the fat. That's the, and then we've got to make him work.
Fat, Sterler, Darryl,
Stella's retired.
and Chief. Get them all back.
You should be on. You and the fat should do it.
No. No, you get the gang back together. Mate, get the Beatles back together.
Weren't you the focal point of the rebooted footy show?
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to play Guess Who. So the clues are going to look like this. Who's this person?
Freddy.
Okay.
Hang on. Is underneath this Sydney City, where's the dollar signs?
Hey. Who is this? This was a hard one.
I got it.
You don't, do you?
Trent Hodkinson.
Oh, well done, Brad.
What?
Yeah. Remember he kicked one that scored the try and kicked the goal in the Origin? Right, this one.
Newcastle. 2005.
Well, I coached this bloke.
Gee, you're good.
Well, I was coaching around 2007.
Yeah.
So 2007, 2009, Nate Miles.
It is Nate Miles.
Show me the Nate
Good
Miles.
get.
How many clubs he's played for? So
here's, before you look at that, Andrew, here's the Trent Hodkinson one. And, well, combined here. Now, remember Hodkinson and in 2014, he and Reynolds were the
Yeah.
halves for Laurie.
He scored the try.
Scored the try and kicked the
show
goal.
and go. I can't remember Hocko playing for Newcastle.
Yeah. I remember him playing for Newcastle. In fact, there is proof he did. Oh, that's a penalty.
The Rostov.
Oh, here it is.
Here it is.
Bang, dummy.
What about that?
Can you remember Nate Miles playing for the Storm?
Yeah,
No.
it was right at the end, right at the death.
I
I
can't
don't know. I'm not
remember
even sure how many games he would have played.
Can you remember Trent Hodkinson playing for the Sharks?
No.
I can't remember that.
I don't remember
I
him.
can't remember him
I
going
can't remember
back to
him
memory.
finishing, but I remember Newcastle and
You know what's interesting? Trent Hodkinson has played 3 games for New South Wales. Play that series. What an impact.
Sorry. Nate Miles, I can't remember him playing for Manly either.
Yeah, well, we just saw. I remember him playing for Manly. Unfashionable sort of player, Trent Hodkinson, but did a very good job in that series.
Bad
and you know
knees.
what?
He had a bad
It was a great goal.
Yeah,
Like it wasn't easy. That was it's a tough kick.
and it was 4
when he
all.
scored.
He nailed it. Yep,
It was 4 all.
he nailed it.
And they scored late. I reckon, 6 or 7 minutes to go to lock it up and then kick the goal. And then won the series. End of
Yeah,
the
I
run.
remember they won the series. That was a big, big night.
Boys, there are
I was
some,
a trainer.
some players
Yeah.
in the game that are universally respected. I'd say Dale Finucane is right up there. What an absolute champion he's been. Grand finals at Canterbury and then won a premiership at Melbourne. He was very emotional in announcing his retirement yesterday after 251 games. He said he'd exhausted every avenue to try and get back after a series of head knocks, but eventually called time on what's been a career where he has achieved so much.
Really, it's a miracle he got to 32. The way he trained. Tell us about the way he trained.
Well, you just got to understand, from the time he walks in, it's just professional. It's whatever you need to do. It's the job. So you walk in, he's stretching. So any kid that walks in, all you got to do is follow him, and he would teach you straight away how to get the best out of yourself. That's what everyone talks about now, is getting the best out of yourself. He does it and is able to keep his humility. He's good to be around. He's good fun. It comes so natural to him.
But he would train with the intensity in which he played.
Yeah, once you're on the field, yeah,
That's why I'm saying it is a miracle he got to 32, because I can honestly say I've never seen anyone train with the intensity he did.
We used to train, so what happens was, it was nearly a joke, where he would strap up for training like he would a game. So he'd have bicep things on, tape around his shoulders, tape around his head. And he'd be just laughing.
Sprint.
Just mad.
As soon as he got on the training field, he would just sprint onto the field and be going that hard. What a play. I thought the quote from Craig Bellamy about he made the club better from going there. Was it something like that?
Well, you look at Fitzy. The three people Fitzy signed, Cam McInnes, Dale Finucane, and then Nico Hines.
Yeah.
Someone who win you the games, and the two others are purely there just to show everyone how to become a professional.
Great signings.
Like and Fitzy said that. He said, we aren't the same if Dale Finucane isn't here. We're just not the same team.
Yeah. Could have played more Origin.
I reckon we had him for a couple of years.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
He was injured during that period as well. So there was a few injuries there at different times. But he played in the one in Perth.
Yeah.
That's right. He got brought into that game.
You just think his mentality is made for that arena with that hard edge.
Well, you got to think, though. You got a couple in New South Wales. You got Jake Trbojevich, you got him. So, they're sort of similar players.
Oh, look at you running back there.
Mr.
Well, he was
Intense.
playing front row. Look at that.
A lovely bloke, too.
He started front row.
What would he have weighed? 95, 96
No,
kilo?
he'd be 100.
big
He'd have to be
man.
100.
Even Gal, you talk about the training, the intensity. Like Paul Gallen's renowned for being a maniacal trainer. He said that he's never seen anyone train like Finucane, and that will have a lasting impression.
That's what Gal said.
Yeah.
Mate, he straps up. Like I said, he has got his guards on everywhere. What he wears in a game, he just whacks it on. Let's go.
Sort of bloke that doesn't matter what he'll do next, he'll be successful because he's got that work ethic. So good luck to him.
Will he go into coaching? Oh, of course, he's not a bad singer and guitarist either.
I think he's the sort of bloke that I could imagine could go into strength and conditioning. Well, you got to have him around a club. He's honest, hard-working.
Funny, it's pretty tricky. Even some of the players that have retired that you think would just roll on into other jobs. I know he's got the fact he's retired medically. How does that all work with insurance and stuff? But
I'm not sure.
I think they walk,
Because he had another year after this year.
Yeah,
he was signed at the end of 25.
Mate, it's not easy. Retirement's not easy for footballers in general.
I actually talked to Gus about Finucane's retirement, and he compared him with Josh Jackson, who I think would they have spent time at the Bulldogs
played
together?
together. Yeah.
Well, Josh Jackson has become the Jersey Fleet coach at Canterbury, and Gus says he is off the charts, like a future NRL coach without any question.
Really?
Yeah. So he's absolutely brilliant.
Isn't that good?
And players like that, you think of what he does at training, like the attitude he takes to training. You've got to fill that somewhere. And coaching's normally good because you get a pretty good ride out of coaching. There's plenty involved in it, plenty of ups and downs.
And if he was in the Origin squad, he could get his guitar out and you could all sit around the fire and sing together. Go horseback riding. That sort of stuff.
I've never seen Brokeback Mountain.
Haven't you?
Yeah. You don't want to watch it, no.
Heath Ledger was here.
Yeah.
Jake
Gildenhall.
Gallen. What's his name?
Jake Gildenhall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be more like soft porn for you.
And what happened?
Anzac Day
Give us a
tomorrow.
No good for you anymore.
You're useless. You're no good to you at all.
God, you're out of the
I wish they'd cut it off years ago.
It's one of the great days of the
Saved a
Rugby
lot of
League
drama.
calendar. We'll be at Allianz tomorrow for the Dragons and the Roosters. It'll be a very special afternoon.
It's the day our great game remembers.
The stage is set. It's game on Anzac Day.
An epic Anzac Day double.
Rugby League at its absolute best.
The Dragons in sizzling form.
That was magical.
Can the Roosters stop their Anzac rivals?
What a play.
Then in prime time, can the Bunnies shock the storm? Blockbuster Anzac Day footy. Live and free on 9 and 9 Now.
It's obviously a very significant day for the nation, and sport plays a massive part in that Anzac Day tomorrow. Joining us on Freddy the Eighth, a guest that combines our affinity with the armed services and our love of sport, and a very familiar surname as well. Joining us is Private Michaela Trbojevich, a cherished member of our armed forces who's joining us live from Townsville. Michaela, it is so nice to talk to you here on Freddy the Eighth. Of course, your surname would suggest that you're part of a very famous rugby league family.
Yeah, I found myself to be a Trbojevich, so here I am. Thank you very much for having me.
Now, the Trbojeviches are all very different. Which one do you suit? Are you like a Ben, a Jake, a Tom, or their other brother Luke? Which one do you like?
Being 5'5" and having the thighs the size of a watermelon, I definitely say about Jake.
You're about
sure.
a Jake. So you love tackling?
Yeah, very much so. Very much so.
Michaela, why the Army? Why did you join the Army?
It was in my family for generations. Obviously, a lot of people's grandparents or great-grandparents have served. I've always had the love for a challenge, and having that family connection, that love for a challenge, and then just wanting to go out and explore Australia, and as well as serve with people that have the same mindset, just made me want to join.
Now, I'm assuming you haven't gone to battle.
Not yet.
Now, does that scare you, or would you be honoured to go into battle?
Very much so honoured. I think a lot of people understand the sacrifice that they give when they join the services. I've lived in 3 different cities now whilst being a part of the armed forces. So I think that whole sacrifice that you give to your family is very much worth it for when you are overseas and you realise that what you are doing is for the better of everyone that's back home.
You play rugby league. Tell us about the comparisons with the qualities of leadership with playing rugby league and also being in the Army.
Very much so, helps hand in hand. I think the best experience I've had is playing alongside girls that do serve. So playing in that ADF side, everyone has that similar mindset of wanting to be the best that they can be as an individual, but as well as better everyone else around them. That's being Air Force, Navy or Army, though Army is the better service, I will say. But it's very, very much so they work hand in hand, and the captain of an ADF side is more of an honour because that shows that you can lead within your profession as well as you can lead on the field.
Wonderful. And the ADF women's team that you're part of actually played in the national championships at the start of the year, which we're watching some vision from now.
Yeah, we did really well to come together. I think we had less than a week to train, and we were from all over the country. We've got girls from Darwin, we've got girls from Townsville, we've got girls from Sydney. Some girls play each week, some girls don't, and this is their only chance to showcase the NRL what they can do. And I think with the emerging competition that's going on for the females, it's an amazing opportunity for service women, and as well as men getting those chances to do Anzac Day curtain raiser games.
Freddie, how would you like to coach a team from the armed forces? I reckon they would be the hardest trainers.
Oh, well, you know they'd be on time.
That's very true.
Yes,
So I
very
reckon-
much so.
Is that, how important's that? The discipline in playing in a team sport, especially once you get to that next level, is it like that with the Army? Do you have people just, dawdling in late, or how is that all perceived?
If you are dawdling in late, you're very much going to have a stern chat to when you finally arrive to work. But playing alongside girls that do serve, we do like to have a bit of fun when we are in camp or playing. However, the professional side of things definitely does stick around, where, like you said, our training and our discipline with the ball, if we have a few accidents at training, we already know the punishments that are going to come our way are both going to be on the field and off the field. So we're very much so professional in that sense.
Outside where you are, how would you describe it? An army camp? Is that where you...
Barracks.
Barracks? Outside the way we celebrate, civilians celebrate Anzac Day, within the barracks, what does Anzac Day mean to people within the barracks?
So currently, actually the day before, so it's the 24th currently, and we at 3RE are having our Kapyong Day. So it's the celebration of the Battle of Kapyong. And a lot of the boys, as well as veterans, come onto the base and we facilitate a parade for them. So we are an armoured battalion. So we had the armoured capability on the parade ground with all the boys and the girls, as well as all the veterans marching alongside each other. And then going into tomorrow, we'll have similar. So we'll have our dawn service at our unit. And then from there, we'll celebrate as a unit and we'll commemorate those who have fallen for us and those who have served previous to us. And then we'll join the rest of the community. So we may go to the local RSL and play a bit of cheeky two-up. But I think our main thing on Anzac Day is not being selfish. It's very much being out in the community and showing the community what we do for our nation and why we do it and the pride we have behind it.
On the Sunday Footy Show last weekend on the award-winning Turn It Up, we actually had Heston Russell on. And
oh, wow.
We, probably never met a more impressive person in my life. Yourself, who do people you look up to? Is there anyone in particular? Who's some of your heroes within the armed forces?
I think with the new generation, it's hard to have a set hero. For myself, I'm very much I know who I don't want to be and I know the leader I want to become. So looking at people that are around me, I take things that I don't want and things that I do want and then go from there. So a lot of people that I do aspire to be like are our current commanding officer of our unit, Jack Westhorpe. He's a very good leader throughout the infantry realm, showing men, you know, there's time to work hard, but there's also time to celebrate and have fun with each other.
So if you want to learn something from the Trbojevich family, who do you lean on or who do you look to?
Even preparing for this interview, I called up Jake and asked him a few tips, and I was like, do I give a thumbs up? Do I what do I do? So he kind of told me to relax, make sure I don't talk too fast.
It's coming from Jake.
He's definitely one that I lean on a fair bit, both for my personal development as well as my professional and footy development. So he's always been a good egg to me. Tom's taught me how to keep my hamstring intact, which is nice. And yeah, it's been good. They're good boys.
All right, a couple of footy questions before we let you go, Michaela. Who do you follow?
I'm kind of obliged to say Manly.
Yeah.
So Manly.
All right. And who are you tipping tomorrow? There's 3 games tomorrow. Why don't we... The Warriors-Titans?
I'm going to go Warriors.
Yeah. And then the big one that we're fortunate to be at every year at Allianz, the traditional clash, Dragons and Roosters.
I'm going to go Roosters on this one.
All right.
Yeah.
And then Melbourne Souths.
I'm hoping Melbourne. I'm just saying.
There we go. Hey, you are so impressive. It's a thrill to talk to you. And on behalf of everyone here, we hope it is a significant day of commemoration right around the country. And for the sacrifice you and your colleagues, mate, we thank you.
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
So lovely to talk to you, Michaela. Private Michaela Trbojevich.
Impressive.
Wow. If we had a generation of people like her, we'd be in a good spot.
I think we are, mate.
Well, she's an
of
ultra impressive person.
She's good.
Fantastic. Freddy the Eighth Medal time. 3 votes to Michaela Trbojevich. But from performances last week, who have we gone with?
I went with 3 to Reece Walsh. Although he made about 2 or 3 errors before he actually got it together, he was awesome. Jeremy Marshall-King up in Darwin, he just turned the screws and he was just too good for Parramatta. And Zac Lomax, he's a bit of a beast at the moment, coming up with some really good plays.
Same. Yeah, Reece Walsh, I've heard a couple of people during the week knocking him for making a few errors. It's the way he plays.
Mate, how could you play like that and not make errors?
He's joined Joey Manu, Dylan Edwards, the Hammer, and Jamal Fogarty at the top of the leaderboard. That's an expensive lunch.
I'd like Reece Walsh to take us out.
Yeah.
That's
We're
what
going
I'd like.
out with Reece Walsh.
Would he wear that Akubra style?
Mate, he
I
can
hope
wear
so.
whatever he wants.
Well, the pace. That's one thing that I like with all the great ball playing and all the other skills. He just burns people with speed.
Can I tell you a quick yarn? So it was my missus' birthday. So I took her out for dinner. We went to the pub to watch the footy.
What a romantic.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm like, Broncos are playing. Why don't you have a bet first try scorer? She said, who's playing? Broncos or Cowboys? Broncos and Raiders. She goes, oh, well, who plays for them? She goes, oh, the pretty boy. I said, yeah, Reece Walsh. So anyway, next to us was a table, another young couple. Anyway, the girl...
Where's this going?
Did you consider yourself a young couple?
Yeah, for sure. Young at heart. So that next to us, the girls were like, oh, you came brought us to the pub, so he's watched the footy anyway. The same thing. They go, oh, Reece Walsh was playing. So anyway, they start watching, and then he scores that try, and then it's like, wow, how good is... Then for the rest of the game, they were locked in. Yeah. So you got a player who transcends the game, who attracts other people to the game who don't normally watch the game.
He's unbelievable.
And then they watch him because, he's Reece Walsh, and then it's like, I can't take my eyes off him. Rugby league should be absolutely applauding that he's playing rugby league. Because he is a marketer's dream.
That try he scored, because he bumbled around a little bit and throw some speculative passes, but when he hit that ball, you just knew he was going to score.
It's like a video
He hits it that fast. If you're not standing in front of him, you're not tackling him. And he makes it up as he goes.
So Reece, keeping good form, maybe not around Origin time, and we'll fly you down for Freddy the Eighth.
No, we'll go where I want to go where he goes. Let's go where he goes.
No, we'll get him to Sydney. Where's he going to stay? Your joint or mine?
He'll have to stay at mine. We couldn't let him.
I can tell you,
Marie will be happy.
He's not staying at yours, that's for sure. Zac Lomax.
The red door.
This is an irresistible claim for Origin. Irresistible.
Yeah.
Will he be there if he continues this form?
Well, it's hard not to pick him, isn't it? Because he's the form, not only a form winger or centre, he's a form player of the comp. Kicks goals.
But he's not going to kick goals.
Well, Nathan will be there. He's a backup.
Nathan will kick goals.
There's no deficiencies in what he's doing at the moment.
And he chases, does the little things, those effort areas, chasing kicks. Strong dummy half runner, get the sets rolling.
He's highly motivated at the moment. He's going good. It's good to watch.
It's good to see, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
When all the talk was going on about him playing wing, and there was a lot of talk outside, people speculating, he wants to play. I didn't hear him say anything. He just put his head down and just went, right, I'm going to play. I'm going to play well.
The good thing is, too, he come through as a superstar. And I always used to say, he was like, watching him come through, he played in all the junior teams, coached him a few times through there, and it didn't come easy. You know what I mean? And it just shows you some of those, better players coming through those kids, that it's just about, you just got to knuckle down. And you can see there's been a real difference in his attitude about how he plays, not what he does, it's just about how he does it. And the way he's going at the moment, he's nearly unstoppable.
On the way to the break, let's go back into our famous and popular news archive and have a look at one of the great blues we've seen.
With a minute's play remaining, Dowling and Tamati scuffle after a play the ball. They'd been at each other's throats all night. Finally, French referee Russ Cagnier sends both players to the sin bin for 10 minutes. And this is what followed.
Come back now, still arguing as they go out the door. Dowling is giving him a shove. The fingers are going. They might carry this on in the shower room. Dowling's, and it's on again. It's on again. Dowling gave him one and Tamati came back. And this is disgusting. Really, they're fighting now right in front of the crowd off the field of play.
Today, Greg Dowling could hardly get out of bed, while Tamati, not a pretty picture, was standing, but regretful over the incident.
It's a shame that it had to happen, but it did, and there's not a lot we can do about it now. But I just hope it doesn't have any detrimental effects on the game itself.
Holy hell. He's a hard man, Kevin Tamati.
Blocker Roach told me that he played at Warrington at one stage, and his forward pack, the front rowers were Blocker, Kevin Tamati, and the back rowers were Les Boyd and Les Davidson.
Stop it.
Yeah. And my old coach, Paul Cullen, was the lock.
Is he mad?
Well, the world's nicest bloke off the field is one of like Les Davidson. But on the field, as Blocker says, "Oh, your mate Paul Cullen, he's a psycho. He's a psycho." Imagine going out and the stinks on. Blocker, Kevin Tamati. Oh, hang on. Les Boyd.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll poke my head and go to the back row.
I
Big
want
Les
my mummy.
Davidson.
You'd be happy giving cheek with that forward pack back
Actually,
at you.
Kevin Tamati, I think he lives in the Cook Islands now. I'll be over there next week. So
Big one?
I'm going to the
Next
Cook
week?
Islands from the 50th. I got the weekend off.
Really?
Oh, here's Blocky. Look, it's
Who's Blocky hitting there?
He's hitting Kevin Tamati, isn't he?
Is it? Oh, he is.
So Blocker's teed off him, then Greg Dowling's teed off him, and then he wants more.
What's his elbow? What's his elbow? The one where
So who started it?
this one here. That elbow there, mate. That started it.
Yeah, I think he lives in Rarotonga.
Come here and get a piece of this, Kevin.
He's a tough man, mate.
Look at this.
that.
Douche, doink, slips. Get
Slips.
this in here.
Yeah.
Look at the accordion.
The funny thing is, Darryl Eastlake, the late great Darryl Eastlake, saying, "Oh, this is disgusting." I think he was secretly enjoying it up in the commentary box. Oh, this of course is the segue into Jack Hetherington versus Reed Marnie, which no one even threw a punch in the end.
Yeah.
Ton of
Mate, it's
altercations, though.
This
No, you
this
know what,
push and shove stuff is just so embarrassing.
mate? The staff should have done better.
Totally agree.
The staff should have done better. They were sent off at different times, taken to the change room. Seriously.
And you know Jack's a hothead.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
only look, as Gus has said, he's only mucking around there. You can see that he's dancing around at the top of the tunnel. And Reed Marnie actually has come out subsequent to that and said he had a grin on his face. But it's not funny in the scheme of where we are in the game.
Well, you know what?
Mate, the staff should have done better, without a doubt. It's all well and good to have fun, but there's protocols. Deal with the protocols. They'll send off at different times, take them to the change room. None of this happens.
Yeah.
The game gets embarrassed by it, and everyone's got to go along with their games. And at the end of the day, Reed had to get, not for what he did there, but on the field. I mean, you can't do that. These blokes are... You can't be a pest.
Should he have got a game?
You can now, because you're not going to get punched in the head.
What's that?
Should he have got
He
a
didn't
game?
get a game, did he? No, he got a fine.
You got a fine for doing something on the field.
But should he have, you're happy with no
No,
suspension?
I'm happy with what happened.
I think Jack should get a fine. I don't think Jack should be suspended for that.
No, I think he should. You shouldn't touch people.
But
Like,
it's a
'cause
byproduct of the no punching. That's
people-
what little blokes now
You can't have punching, mate.
get in
Those-
people's
honestly,
faces and
Those
carry
days
on.
are over, but I'm with you. Like Reed Marnie, you can't be grabbing blokes on the field. He held him at stages during that spat. Reed didn't have to have hold of him, and then it doesn't escalate. So absolutely, he deserved the fine.
Let him punch one-on-one. Third blokes comes in.
Mate, you
he
can't
goes.
punch.
Let him go.
Seriously.
I thought it was your brother that wore the bring back the Biff T-shirt. We've seen the Battle of Brookvale.
Well, this is the
millions of
problem you
times.
get.
I've got a better one.
Yeah.
I've got a better one. This is Malice in the Palace in the NBA. Now, this is a very famous one involving an old basketballer called Ron Artest. There was an ESPN 30 for 30 about this. Now, this is the Detroit Pistons. They were known as an aggressive, confrontational team. This got so bad, he went up in the stands and started bluing the punters.
Oh, serious?
Yeah. Mate, you should see the 30 for 30 doco is next level. Like, look at this.
Did Dennis Rodman play for that team?
He started.
He started
I
there.
think. Yeah. Have a look. Can you believe that? They called the game off with about 45 seconds left, and I should have. They're pouring beers on it, as you should. I should have read about the penalties, but he got like some outrageous fine, and it might have been like a 6-month suspension, maybe even longer. I'll have to look it up. But
I was walking.
that is an unsavoury fight.
We played at Campbelltown one day, and MG got sent off or stim bin. I forget what it was. And I think it was the last game of the year before the finals, and we were leading the comp. And a bloke reached over and tried to hit him with an umbrella. Should have seen MG go.
Did he chase him?
Well, he tried to. He was,
Well,
he was climbing. Well, you're just saying it's all right to throw a beer and chips at the bloke. Mate, you can't.
Yeah, but he's just been a punch in the patrons, mate.
Yeah, but he might have thrown something at him.
Who?
The patron obviously threw something at him. You don't think the bloke's going to run upstairs just because he called him a name? Seriously.
Mate, anyway, you should watch the 30 for 30 doco. It's pretty amazing.
Well, that's the next question.
I'm
MG.
I'm trying to think. Anyway, there was another story that just come out of my head. It happens these days. Parramatta, on the subject of rugby league. Manly, Brisbane, Storm, Rabbits, Sharks. Next 5.
Ooh. When's Mitchell back? Round
Not
12.
He was 12 weeks.
11, 12, I think. Oh, I
Was
heard.
it 12 weeks or was it round 12?
I heard round 11 or 12.
Right. Well, that might be a little shorter than they were
Mate,
initially.
his kicking game makes such a difference to them. I think the rules also worked against them. They had the best kick and chase just because of his kick. He had that kick where he just kicks at 50 metres every time. It's in the air for so long, which allowed them to just recoup and get their defence. So I think, if anything, the rule change hurt them a little bit, and now him not playing, they realise just how important it is. So I can't see them winning too many.
There's obviously a lot of pressure building on Brad Arthur. He's been there a long time. 10 years, 11 years? Gus made some interesting comments, though, on 100% footy about the current plight of the Parramatta club. Have a listen to these.
In all the time that I followed Parramatta, I was a Parramatta junior, they've never really set up their pathways properly. They've never ever produced a culture, a character of their own that's brought through the grades with young fellas wanting to be there and be a part of the club. And that in the end becomes the problem of the head coach who's trying to win games today when no one has really planned adequately for the future. They have great sides in the junior representative fields, but it doesn't transition through to a culture or a stream of players coming through in the club. And that's where it's got to now. And someone's got to take that responsibility. That's not Brad Arthur's responsibility.
Thoughts on that?
Well, I think Nathan Brown was he was in charge of their pathways, I think.
For a very brief time.
Oh, was it? That was just recently, was the last 2 years?
Yeah, and he's recently left.
The New South Wales
that
Cup, they're coming last. And in Jersey Flegg, what's that now?
I think they've won a game.
I don't think they've won a game.
So
I remember coming through when we were coming through. No one could beat Parramatta. They won at everything. Couldn't beat them.
I started as a Parramatta junior, and when I came through, it was so when I was 10 years old and all that, it was all that early 80s, and everyone wanted to play for Parramatta
because of that dominance.
Well, of course, that dominance, that team, they were unbelievable. And then the back end of the 80s, they just faded away. They weren't spotted for 10 years.
It's interesting because they do have quite a good participation in that Parramatta local league, don't they?
Huge. So Penrith is the highest. Brisbane's very high. So Penrith, Macarthur would be second highest now, and I'd say Parramatta would be third. But not also in amongst there, you've got most probably 3 or 4 of the best schools as well. That you got some Pats Blacktown, Westfields, Fairfield Pats, Hill Sports High in that whole vicinity. So there's plenty of. There's a nursery that should really set up the Parramatta juniors, but
there aren't a lot of local juniors who have come through, who have started. Now, Will Penasini is there.
I'm just trying to think in the bottom. I think Mitchell Moses, he was a Parramatta junior, not a West
Tigers. Went to the Tigers and
but then went to the Tigers
and
come back.
Dylan Brown's come from New Zealand.
Mate,
Campbell was from Penrith.
Sort of started, Gal, he come through a generation where he was a Parramatta junior, he went to Parramatta Marist, and he went to Cronulla. So through that whole period and then has moved on but to be fair to that, the system where player managers, you can go and get people from anywhere, and
sure, but
your recruitment officers but Gus is right. Like,
the point he's making there is about the production line. I mean,
the point is no one wants to play for him. That's the point. The point is you don't have people staying there because they want to wear blue and gold. That's what Gus is saying. Normally you'll get a couple of blokes who just want to stay in the area and play for the club that they grow up loving, and there doesn't seem to be many of them. Well, Ethan Sanders, be interesting. He's
leaving.
He's leaving.
He's going to Canberra.
Well, there you go.
Well, his pathway's blocked from Mitchell and Dylan Brown. You can understand that one.
Just on the coach. Now, I'm not asking you to make a judgment on if he's doing a good job or not, but, I mean, Jack Gibson is a great example. He spent 3 years at a club and moved on.
Oh, was that his?
Well, that was Jack Gibson's thing. He only stayed 3 years and that was it. He's been there a decade now. They made 1 grand final. Outside of that, they haven't threatened. But is Parramatta at a stage where things need a reboot? Does it look like that on the field?
Well, I thought last year was a tough year. They literally moved on 5 forwards, including their hooker, and I found it was going to be hard to recover from that.
That was a questionable decision, wasn't it?
There was 5 forwards that moved on. They kept all their backs.
They couldn't match. Reid Marnie got offered big money.
Well, a lot of them did too. Like Nia Cora, he was a good player, but he would have got offered more money.
So that's a starting pack of forwards. Like that's a lot to lose at once.
Isaiah Papali, Ray Stone, Oregon Kafusi. They were all blokes that were in that starting, but they got picked at, and it was a different club for every one of those blokes. So
I appreciate that, but I suppose what I'm sort of saying is that you have to make priority decisions with salary cap, don't you? And they've spent massive money on the halves. The two props are on big coin. I don't know what Gutho's on, but they've had to move on 5 middle forwards or 5 key forwards to accommodate the two halves. Like, it's a balancing act, the salary cap, isn't it?
Well, especially when your halfback gets injured.
And there's no backup for him.
Not many sides could.
Well, we'll
be
see.
interesting watching Canberra this week because Canberra are going to lose their key halfback. Now, Penrith obviously do a great job and they've always had that backup halfback where Nathan's
Let's watch
missed plenty of
Newcastle
games.
without Kalen.
Yeah.
That scares me.
Scares most Newcastle fans. All right, enough about that. We love having Ken Sutcliffe join us here on Freddy and the Eighth. What's coming up on Wide World of Sports?
It's finals weekend on Wide World of Sports. Tonight, the men will scorch the red clay of Roland Garros in the semi-finals of the French Open. Tomorrow night, it's trophy time as we take you courtside for the women's decider. And on Sunday, the Grand Slam glory goes to the last man standing in the men's final. Our Winter Football Festival continues this weekend with the Sunday edition of the Footy Show. Then, our cameras will be sidelined at the Sydney Football Stadium as the Roosters rumble with reigning premiers, the Melbourne Storm, on Sunday Rugby League. Next Thursday night, the crew will come crashing into your living room with the midweek editions of the Footy Show. We'll be teeing off at the legendary Pebble Beach course in California next Friday morning with the first round of the United States Open. And make a date to join us next week at Parramatta Stadium when the Eels tangle with the Roosters on Friday Night Footy. Serving it up hot and strong all winter long. There's no better place to be than right here at home on Nine's Wide World of Sports.
Well, I must be old because I remember most of those players.
Who's your favourite female tennis player?
Martina Navratilova and then Steffi Graf. Yeah.
Well, they were rivals for
Well,
a long
Martina
time.
used to actually win. She used to play with Pam Shriver in the doubles and they'd win that.
Yeah.
And then she'd go and win the singles as well. She was so good.
You're
Yes.
talking about that 30 for 30 docos. The John McEnroe one. You seen that?
No, I haven't.
Oh, mate, he's the best.
He was good.
I think
That was a
Martina's-
great era.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think she's won over 50 Grand Slam titles.
Who?
Martina. Singles and doubles.
Yeah, right. Well, we used to play doubles.
You know what I was thinking about the other day? Who was the young lady that got stabbed at the French Open?
Monica Seles.
Monica Seles.
She never played after that, did
Yes,
she?
she did.
Did
But
she?
never reached the
Yeah.
same heights.
Geez, that must have knocked her about.
Oh, of course.
Could you imagine sitting in the chair every time? Maybe you'd be paranoid.
Fancy
Definitely
someone being allowed to
paranoid.
get to her. Can you believe that? Like, get that close and with a knife. Anyway,
That was crazy.
next on a current affair. Freddy in the Eighth Games also came up on Wide World of Sports. Freddy in the Eighth Games. Do you think Ken Sutcliffe would be... Do you think Kenny would be prepared to do an introduction for Freddy in the
I
Eighth
saw
Games?
Kenny at the footy last week.
Oh, how good's he
The
look?
colour of that jacket. It was like baby shit mustard.
He nailed it.
I wish we could have a... Was he on air last week?
No.
No.
How was the jacket?
peach.
He nailed it.
It was peach. It was a peach colour.
It was
was
baby
peachy.
shit mustard. Yeah.
No, I think that was the shirt under. He had a whole thing going
It was
on.
a great ensemble, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well done,
He's still...
Kenny.
He must have been... It's a big weekend in Sydney. He's got the Saturday night gear on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good on you, Kenny.
I'm sure he does the same stuff that you get up to. Kenny, husband dragging.
Yeah, this happens at my joint every
The
Saturday night.
bloke has to neck a beer and then his wife drags him away. It sounds like everyone's life. This is sport imitating life. Oh, well done.
Jeez, he's necking it.
So
Look at him.
where does this happen?
Oh, he's
Well, it's
doing
a
in 4X.
so it's in
Oh,
Queensland.
yeah.
I'm tipping Western Queensland
Where's
somewhere.
Darren Lockyer
What was the
from?
one? Oh, we had the camel sculling a beer last week. We should do a Freddy the Eighth tour of far north Queensland. Wouldn't that be fun? There's Reece Walsh's hat.
Nate Miles on the right.
That's good. Death diving. Not sure what this entails.
Death
Is this just big
Death
belly flops?
diving. Oh, that's from... Oh, you're mad!
This would be so good to go watch.
Oh, stop. Oh, no, he's ducked his
He's
head
done a
there. He
horsey.
should be disqualified.
These are horses.
He-
Oh,
Oh, they're doing a horsey.
Oh,
Is this Scandinavian? They look Scando. Oh, dear.
There's a horsey.
What's a horsey? Oh, it's
Horse,
in
what
Norway.
they're doing.
Look out. Oh. Haven't seen anyone with the courage to not duck the head yet.
This is a great sport for the mentally deranged. When can I get a start?
Oh, here you are.
Here's the eighth.
The old warrior.
That was 40 minutes, 45 minutes trying to get over.
Is this bungee jumping?
What's wrong with you?
I'm scared of heights.
Oh, mate. I wouldn't bungee jump.
Oh, I can't even look at that.
No,
it's abseiling.
You go out in 12-foot surf.
Yeah, but it's
what are you
different.
worried about?
Oh. Go, Joey. Gee. Well done, mate.
You're embarrassed. That's embarrassing.
So what, they just sort of released you slowly down to the ground.
Look at you.
Mate, because that thing there was straight on the pencil. Mate, the pencil thought it was wrestling with the Boston Strangler.
There's a pencil at the moment. Is everything all right there?
The pencil's not good.
We've already addressed Joey's issues. Oh,
Yeah.
the Boston.
You had hold of me. It hurt, but I've got to say it was mildly pleasurable.
Anzac Day game. Allianz is a sellout, so there'll be over 40,000 there for, what is on paper a tantalising clash. Dragons really going well. Roosters,
Probably
I can't get a read on the
Flanagan.
I can't
First
get a
time.
read on.
Yeah.
Can you get a read on the Roosters at the moment?
No. I think some games, obviously, they started on fire. They beat Brisbane over in Vegas, and they've had some good games since. I think it's trying to. I think they get very predictable, and they just don't have that speed like a Brisbane, or they don't have a Sloan, someone who actually Dom Young, but he's on the wing, so it's a little bit different. But
Jeez, that was a good try.
the Dragons, they're very unpredictable, and when they're playing good and completing and doing all that, like the Sloans and Ben Hunts and that, geez, they can make you pay.
He's in great form, Ben Hunt. You know what they are? They're big and physical and powerful.
Their whole team,
They like to bully the opposition.
they all look like they're 105 kilo, the whole team.
Huge.
Big centres, big wingers.
Who do you like? You like the Chooks?
I like the Chooks.
Melbourne versus South Sydney. Have a listen to this for some statistical information from David Middleton. Souths have won their last... The Storm have won their last 7 Anzac Day games. The Rabbitohs have lost all 18 games they've played in Melbourne. The Storm are aiming for 14 consecutive wins at Amy Park. Might be a long night.
Yeah, it points to a Melbourne win. Melbourne will win.
Why do you reckon, after they brought Sean Keppie to the club, he's had 2 or 3 games, brushed, Tallis Duncan's not even in the squad.
Jeez, he's good.
And
I
Shaq
like
Mitchell's
him.
starting in the front row.
I like Tallis Duncan.
Well, it's funny how just coaches gravitate towards certain players. I thought Sean Keppie was going to be a really good fit for South.
Yeah.
I think he was doing some good things at Manly, very aggressive, but just hasn't been able to nail a spot yet.
But they're lacking in big middles, aren't they?
Shaquille, I think they're going
Shaq
with.
Mitchell's starting up top.
Yeah.
Storm.
Storm to win.
Storm.
Friday night footy. Love this clash. Manly and Para. 4 Pines Brookie. Para so bad you could barely believe it last week. When's the last time you saw a team leak 8 tries and a half?
They gave up. Simple as that. It was too hard. It was too hot.
Yeah, got to them.
They just gave up.
And the other team, they look like they're a nightmare when they turn it on. They're fast.
They're a Wayne Bennett coach team. They just hang in, and then when the momentum swings, they go up a gear. And that's what the Dolphins did.
You know who's good at doing that? Cody Nicarima. Geez, he can play some footy. Oh, good footy player.
And they're without their fastest player too. Geez, that Trey Fuller goes good.
Isn't he a good player?
You reckon someone would snap him up? He's been knocking around in the Queensland Cup for years. I think he might have been a Queensland Cup Player of the Year.
Yeah, Peter
couple years
Pasoltis said he just scores tries for fun
Yeah.
in the Queensland Cup. Good to see him go well. He did a couple of things up there, freakish things, picking balls up in that humidity and the slippery conditions.
Mate, that's what he did good. His first couple of touches were hard. They were tough. He had to come at the ball, and they were trying to bring him forward, and he just stood up.
Flegler back?
Don't think so.
No.
It's Wayne back.
Wayne's back.
Wayne's back.
You won't have to go far.
I'm worried about my Knights. No Kalen. They look incredibly
They'll have to work.
They look incredibly one-paced without Kalen. So
You said the fullback's got talent.
he's got talent, but he's debuting.
Yeah.
The interesting to see how they play, whether they mix it up and play more at a dummy half, or they still play that point-to-point load up for the big shift.
And a significant afternoon for one of the game's great characters. The F-bombs and the spit will be flying everywhere in Canberra on Sunday afternoon because it's Ricky Stewart's 500th game as an NRL coach.
Really?
Yep.
I was there at the very start.
Kyo Weeks wears the number 7. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think he's ever played halfback.
No.
He played a bit of fullback for Manly. He came off the bench and played a little bit dummy
as a
half.
halfback.
Did he?
Oh, here's Ricky over the years. Youthful looking Ricky there.
Mate, he came through as a halfback at Manly.
Okay.
Played halfback in 5'8". I played him a year young in a state team as a halfback.
Yeah. Okay.
He's been a good player all the way along. Come through obviously at Manly. DCE was there.
He's asking about your hairstyle there, Andrew.
No, he's asked me, did I get the quaddie up today at Canterbury races on a Wednesday?
I love Ricky Stewart. I am an unashamed fan of Ricky Stewart. Great coach, great character, tells it how it is, still gives you a bit of value in the press conference, and passionate about the game. And as you guys know, passionate about his players. You can tell how much he loves those Canberra boys.
It's good to see him go back to Canberra.
Yeah, very good. He's good. Ricky Stewart's wedding, I went down there.
Was that when you and Fernsey would...
Got some good stories out of that.
Go on.
I was with Fernsey. No, actually, well, we're having a drink with Dave Ferner, and he's got a pool out the back. And so me and Fernsey were drinking into the morning, and his daughter comes out, Maddie, and I just assumed because she was about 12 she could swim. So...
Oh, no.
Just threw in the water. Oh. Fernsey's wife's come flying straight out the thing to top him. And Fernsey got a bourbon in the hand. What are you doing, you idiots?
Evidently she couldn't swim.
Yeah, it was morning.
Oh, it was morning?
It was morning.
It wasn't the middle of winter in Canberra, was it?
You couldn't get away with a soft drink in Canberra. They were mad.
They were mad.
All right,
Here's the
gentlemen.
maddest, rank 'em. Mullins, Hetherington.
Mullins, Croker.
So Jason Croker.
Brett Mullins. Oh, Brett Hetherington.
Brett Hetherington, Brett Mullins. So Heathrow, who plays for Newcastle.
So Heathrow married Mullo's sister,
What's his
Beck.
name?
Jason Hetherington.
No, who's the one who plays for
Brett
Newcastle?
Hetherington. Jack.
I'm just Jack Hetherington.
Yeah.
So Jack's father and mother is Brett Mullins' sister.
There's a Mullins and a Hetherington.
Jack.
No wonder he's mad.
Oh, mate. Actually, when Jack Hetherington first came to Newcastle, he was talking to me in beds. He goes, mate, everyone thinks I'm a lunatic. I'm not a lunatic off the field. I was looking at him going, can't bullshit to a bullshitter, mate.
Who was on Ricky's bridal party?
Oh, I couldn't tell you. I'd say...
Surely Laurie.
I forget, actually. I forget. I spent the weekend with Laurie's manager, Chimes.
Good man.
The travelling partner. That was
Gentlemen,
one of the great
I shall
weddings.
see you in all of your glory, all suited up with your rosemary at Allianz tomorrow.
Can't wait. This will be an absolute beauty. This could be one of the absolute classics. It's got a feeling it's going to go down to the 80th minute.
Yeah, it's got that, hasn't it? Both teams they're primed, I reckon.
That's Freddy and the Eighth for this week. Hope you've enjoyed the show. See you next week.
This year, NRL on 9 is your one-stop shop for all footy.
That's right, Freddie. Not about the highlights. Action. 7 days a week.
Billy and Gus podcast. Get that on your drive on the way home. Immortal Behaviour. Grab a seat on the couch for that. And, of course, my favourite, Freddy and the Eighth.
The best footy brains, the biggest games.
Don't trust the algorithm. Subscribe to NRL on 9 and get all your entertainment there.